Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of the Super Smash Crew podcast. I'm your host, AJ, and you probably have a few questions to yourself. So, the first question is, what is Super Smash Crew? So, in a summary, Super Smash Crew is a parody series within my main written series called Shared Verse, where instead of Nintendo characters and other game characters, their character roles are replaced with characters from TV, anime, movies, etc. So no games whatsoever. Another thing is, oh, what the fuck? Alright, shut up. Now, in order to understand Super Smash Crew, I gotta talk about the context, Shared Verse, which is the name of my fanfiction series. Although I don't usually like to use the word fanfiction since the name never really stuck with me. So, what exactly is Shared Verse? As the title suggests, Shared Verse is a shared universe of multiple properties in one universe in a modern setting on planet Earth. So all the fictional characters are named astral souls, where they can live for however long as they want, change their ages, whatever. And when they die, it's usually they either. And for them, death is considered a joke since if they die and go to heaven, they have the option to come back whenever they want. But if they go to hell, they have to do a prison sentence since it kind of acts like jail to them. There's actually six alignments. So so there's so those are astral soul. Those are astral souls, and aside from those, there's also human souls. But then there's a third group known as half breeds, which are of course both people who have human and astral souls. Meaning that if the astral soul dies, they'll just keep coming back whenever they want, but if their human soul dies, then they're permanently dead. So for my self insert character, in this case, I'm just going to be using first person nouns because it's going to get confusing with me constantly using the words self original character or constantly saying AJ over and over again, so I'm just going to be talking as if I'm talking about myself. Now, since there's so many media properties in this one world, the alignment system was created, which are a group of which is so with so many media properties in this one universe, the alignment system was created, which is a way to categorize multiple pieces of media into six different groups depending on what feeling or aesthetic they give. There are six alignments. Three of them are considered the media alignments, which are the obvious Disney, Viacom, and Warner. Viacom is both a mix of both Viacom and Paramount and Comcast and whatever. Then there's the aesthetic alignments, which are listed as. Then there are the aesthetic alignments, which are consisted of certain time periods of when those alignments peaked in media. So you have the Great War alignment, which peaked in the early 20th century. You have choral, which peaked in the late 90s, early 2000s, and subchoral, which peaked mostly in the late 70s and 80s, and a little bit of the 90s there as well. So when it comes to Nintendo and Super Smash Bros., where does it fall under? It falls under subchoral because it's, a lot easier since both that and subchoral peaked in the 80s, so it makes sense. Now, when I was 14, I was already in my freshman year, and Smash 4 was coming right around the corner. And in the past, I worked on a couple of parody series, which were either parody series based off like movies or shows or whatever, but I wanted to do one on a game, specifically Smash. But I wanted to do a parody series based off of Smash, since, like I said, Smash 4 was gonna come out later that year. And for the name of Smash Crew, the name for Super Smash Crew, that's a whole other story. So, one thing about Shared Verse is that the main universe is, once again, taking place in modern Earth at modern day. But then when you have some media properties that take place in their own universe, they usually use the main Shared Verse as like a place for vacation, or if they have to be a representative for an expo based off of their series. So, take for example the One Piece series, a series where most of the planet is the ocean, and there's islands isolated all over the world. So, it's not going to fly with the main Earth of Sharedverse. Like I said, they come over for vacations, or if they want to take a break from their adventures or whatever, or they have an expo. I was already familiar with One Piece when I was 5 during one of my earlier adventures. So I already had like a good relationship with the main pirate crew, the Straw Hats. So when I was 14, the start earlier 2014, they had a little incident where the ship's navigator, a woman named Nami, she got a fatal wound throughout her torso. So she had her own little adventure, and of course I had to be roped into it. One thing I learned when I was helping her out was that she wasn't doing much in the current story arc in One Piece, the Dressrosa arc. So I asked her, "Hey, you want to come over and help me out with like a couple of things or whatever?" Thankfully, she said yes, and that led me to giving her a little Mario thing to do, where mainly because she had robotic equipment for healing her fatal wounds. The ship's constructor, carpenter, was also a cyborg. So I thought it would have been cute if, like, calling them the Super Pirate Crew, because, like I said, they're both technically robotics, and making them the Mario Brothers, because why not? They're both technically cyborgs, even though whenever she goes back into the main universe, Nami doesn't use her robotic equipment because it would just ruin the continuity. And that just gave me the idea that, you know what? I'll make a Smash series. I'm going to have most of the One Piece, or mainly the Straw Hats, most of them play the Mario roles I needed for Smash 4. Not all of them, of course. And I would just go from there, get other people that I knew, and play other Smash Bros. Roles for them to portray. And thus the title of Super Smash Crew was born. And despite me using this format of recruiting people to play the roles, mainly because of one or two connections they have with the games that the characters from Smash 4 were representing, I thought it would have went well. So Super Smash Crew became like a Super Smash Crew became a YouTube series throughout 2014 and 2015. When Smash 4 came out, we had a game adaptation of Super Smash Crew. So you had both Smash 4 and then you have our Super Smash Crew. And everything worked out at first until I realized there were two big problems. The first major problem was the demographic. So Super Smash Crew was rated T, and the main demographic I was looking for was males from 13 to 18 who watched the demographic that watched the shows, animes, and movies that were a part of Super Smash Crew. And yet, for some reason, I decided to put in TV shows with a much younger demographic. With a much younger demographic. Take, for example, Arthur, the Aardvark. I made him Captain Falcon. The main reason why I made him play that character role was because of those YouTube videos where he Falcon punches his sister. And clearly I thought it was a good idea. Another problem with the character roster was most of the characters, I couldn't find character roles. When it comes to another major problem were some of the character roles were literally just ripped straight out of Smash 4. The roles where I couldn't find a specific character to play those roles were Villager, Wii Fit Trainer, Duck Hunt, Rob, and Mr. Game & Watch. I couldn't find anyone who could play those roles, so I just decided to bring those characters that were already in Smash 4 and make them play the same roles again for Super Smash Crew. Another thing was how most of the character dynamics didn't even add up either. So, take for example, the Pokemon roles. Take for example, the Pokemon roles in Super Smash Crew were portrayed by One Piece villains, both villains that were actual pirates or members of the Navy. And when I came up with this, like looking back, I don't even know what I was smoking. Quite literally, because Smoker played Pikachu, which should have been Enol, the guy who shoots lightning, but instead I made him play Mewtwo. And apparently all of these One Piece Pokemon character roles, they were still fine to this day in Super Smash Lesbians Ultimate. So I'm guessing nobody complains about that. Unfortunately, there was also another big problem. Throughout the summer of 2015 and later in 2016, Samus and Rosalina were having a little battle between who was considered to be the strongest female Nintendo character of the company and who was worthy of claiming the status of being a god in Nintendo. So throughout the second half of 2015, a lot of the audiences for Super Smash Group began to drift from that and go back to Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and for 3DS just to see which character was going to come out on top and who was going to be considered the god of Nintendo. In addition to that, in December of 2015, the Dressrosa arc in One Piece was also ending, so Nami and the other Straw Hat members had to go back and help out with whatever the next story arc was. And ironically, the next story arc, Nami was one of the main pirate members. And ironically, the next story arc, Nami was a main figure of the whole Cake Island arc. So she had to go back and help out the others with the other 5 Straw Hat members I brought in too. So by December, I pretty much had no audience. Half of my cast members left on me. Not because of they hated me or anything, but, for certain reasons. They just had to go back and help out their captain, of course. It also didn't help that I was really getting shitted on in high school, constantly getting bullied, and Rosalina always there to support me with everything, and I didn't even like the woman back then. So, I just decided to cancel the series altogether. No more Super Smash Crew. It was done. I was pretty much sailing a half-constructed boat. And what was I going to do? Sink or swim? So, by early 2016, I called Super Smash Crew a failure, and technically it was also a learning step on how not to do a parody series. Just throwing characters just because of certain and specific coincidences. Thankfully, somehow, by some miracle, I got a second chance. So tune in next time where I discuss the first 3 installments of Super Smash Crew's spiritual successor, Super Smash Lesbians. With that, I'm AJ, and I hope all of you have a good day. Thank you for listening.